On day 1, I spawned in the desert as a baby snow golem. I was all alone, except for a honey golem who was much bigger than me. I wasn't sure why I was here, or why I was so little. Where are all the other snow golems? What am I doing out here where it's so hot and dry? Before the honey golem could answer me, a Guster blew toward us. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Gary the Guster, and there ain't a fella in the land who can take me and my Guster gang down. Just take a gander at what happens when you don't do what I say.
And with one attack, he destroyed the honey golem I spawned in next to. How could you do that? You monster!
Because I'm the baddest Guster around these parts. You got 100 days to rustle up 100 diamonds and bring the loot to me, or my gang and I will burn the nearest village to the ground, and you with it.
And with that threat, he disappeared, leaving me all alone. Oh no, I either need to gather Gary's ransom or defeat him. If I don't, there's gonna be trouble, but I'm gonna need to be a lot stronger before I can do that. On day 2, I started making my way through the desert toward the village. If they were in danger from Gary the Guster too, I needed to get there and warn them. Maybe they could help me, and we could keep each other safe. I realized I only had 5 hearts, so I would have to be careful on the way. As I was walking, a group of zombies appeared from out of a cave. What do you want?
Just keeping an eye on things for the boss. I don't see any diamonds. Maybe we ought to teach you a lesson in listening.
They attacked me, and I had nothing to fight back with. I was scared that they would take me down. I was way too small and weak to beat them right now. But just then, a bison ran up to me.
Howdy there, little snow golem. You're a long way from home.
I am, and I'm in danger.
Well, hop on my back and let's mosey on out of here. I can take us somewhere safe.
I hopped on the bison's back, and he carried me away from the zombies. Thank you. What's your name?
Byron, what's yours?
You can call me Zozo.
Mighty nice to meet you.
On day 3, Byron the bison took me to his village. It was the same place I was trying to get to, so it all worked out pretty well. Except, of course, for the part where we had to all deal with Gary's evil plan. This is a nice village. Thank you for having me. Then, Byron took me to meet the mayor of the town. He was a golem like me, but he was an earth golem, not snow. Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Well, howdy there, little snow golem. What brings you to our town?
I quickly explained what I knew about Gary and his threat to destroy the village if I didn't bring him 100 diamonds.
That no-good scoundrel's been bothering us for some time now. Going on a few years. Maybe we can help each other out and bring him to justice once and for all.
I would love to help, but how?
Well, let's see. I reckon you'll need to make some tools, get started mining diamonds, and get a heck of a lot stronger too. We'll do whatever we can to help you do that. This town's plenty big enough for more kind-hearted folks after all. You can set up on the edge of town.
Byron and I started to leave, but the mayor had one more thing to say.
You know, this village needs a sheriff. I reckon you might just be the man for the job.
On days 4 and 5, I went out and punched some trees so I could gather enough wood to build a crafting bench. Then, I crafted some wooden tools. Once I had those, I could start gathering some stone. Hey, this is going pretty well so far. Once I had enough stone, I upgraded my tools from wood to stone ones, including a stone sword. I was ready to start building our base.
Say, Zozo, if you're fixing to be the sheriff, let's say we build you a sheriff station with a jail inside.
That's a perfect idea, Byron. We can use it as an armory too. It'll be the perfect place to help keep the village safe from Gary and his gang of goons. Then, I had a brilliant idea. Byron, every sheriff needs a deputy. Do you want the job?
Well, shucks, Zozo. I'd be honored.
With Byron chosen as my deputy, we got to work building our base, a couple of jail cells, and 2 rooms for us to sleep in. The mayor stopped by to admire our progress.
This looks mighty fine, boys. Here, Zozo, this should help you get started.
The mayor handed me a strong potion. I drank it and felt myself grow a little bit bigger, and I gained 2 hearts. On days 6 through 8, I explored the desert around the village, looking for more materials. While I was walking around, I saw a roadrunner being attacked by a nest of rattlesnakes. Hey, you leave her alone! I rushed at them with my stone sword and began to fight. They turned their attention away from the roadrunner and started attacking me instead. It was a tough fight, but after a long while, I knocked down the last rattlesnake.
Oh, thank you kindly.
The roadrunner ran over to me.
My name is Rhonda, and you're my hero.
Just doing my duty, ma'am. What are you doing all the way out here?
I got lost in the desert. I was looking for help getting back to my nest. It's in a cave, you see, but it isn't safe for me to go alone. My eggs are in there. I need to get to them before something terrible happens.
Well, that sounds like a job for the local sheriff. On days 9 and 10, Rhonda and I made our way to the cave where her nest was.
I wanted my nest to be out of the sun, and this cave used to be safe. But when people started mining in there, it woke something up. Something terrible. This is it. Please be careful, Sheriff Zozo.
I'll do my best. I drew my sword and crept into the cave.
What are you doing in my cave?
A werewolf jumped out of the shadows and roared at me. This cave belongs to more than just you.
This cave ain't big enough for the both of us.
He swiped at me with his claws and knocked me back into the wall of the cave. I dropped my sword, and when I ran to pick it up, he hit me again. Uh-oh, this guy is way too strong.
Get out now, or I'll finish you off.
I'll have to come back and face him again when I'm stronger. I need to go help Rhonda. I ran out of the cave, where Rhonda was waiting. I'm sorry, he's too strong. But please, come back to town with me. You can stay at my sheriff station until we can come back. I'll help you get your eggs back, I promise. On days 11 and 12, I returned to my base with Rhonda. I built her a room, including a crafting bench and a chest.
Thank you for the help, Zozo. It means the world to me.
Of course, I'm happy to help. Now that we're safe, do you know anything about Gary the Guster?
Not too much, only that he's got a hankering for diamonds and power, and won't let anything stand in his way. He's hurt a lot of people, made himself a lot of enemies. If we all band together, maybe we can do something about him.
That's what I've been thinking too. Glad we're on the same team. After my chat with Rhonda, I went mining for some more materials. I found iron and coal too. I made a furnace and smelted the iron, then used it to craft some iron tools and boots. Best of all, I crafted an iron sword. Then, I built an armory where I could store all of my new tools. This base is coming together. We'll be able to take on Gary and his gang in no time. On days 13 to 15, I wanted to find a way to get stronger, so I talked to Byron the Bison for some advice.
Well, I reckon the best strength in the world is experience. You ought to go on a quest or two and get better at helping others out. Then you'll get stronger. Also, you'd best get yourself some armor for the job.
Thanks so much, Byron. I gathered silver and crafted myself some armor. Then I headed out to explore the forest. Now it's time to find a quest. But where is someone who I can help? I looked around, but couldn't see anyone that might have a quest for me. How was I supposed to get experience if no one needed me to do anything? Then, I saw a pumpkin boss shaking an apple tree. Hi there, do you need some help with the apples?
Hey, you're the sheriff trying to go up against Gary the Guster. Let me teach you a lesson.
He attacked me, but I was ready. I had my new armor to protect me. And I had my new sword, too. I dodged his attack and slashed at him, knocking him back. After a lot of tough back and forth, I was able to win. I did it! I did it! Then, I noticed he dropped something, a shed snakeskin. Hey, I bet I can use this to craft something. I took the snakeskin back to my base and crafted a vine lasso with it. Wow, I can use this to wrangle bad guys and bring them back to jail. On days 16 to 19, I decided to explore some more and see what I could find. I ended up coming across an abandoned mine and looked inside. There was a chest in there. I opened it and I found an old diary belonging to a miner that left it behind ages ago. Gary the Guster came through town again, telling us to give him diamonds. I heard a rumor that he's building a base not too far from here, but no one's been able to find it yet. I have my suspicions that it's out in the forest over yonder. Wow, so Gary's base must not be too far away. Maybe I can find it, but first, I'll have to get even stronger so I can defeat him. Before I could do anything else, I was attacked by a gang of Mandragora.
This is what happens when you go up against Gary the Guster.
But they were no match for my new armor and sword. Just like with the pumpkin boss before, I fought them hard and was able to defeat them. As a few of them ran away, I yelled after them. Tell Gary he won't be picking on people for much longer. On days 20 to 22, I traveled back to the village. When I got there, I saw some plague rats bothering some villagers. I fought them and took them out easily. Wow, I'm getting good at this. On the way back to the sheriff's station, I found some silver I could use to upgrade my gear and my armor. With that taken care of, I was feeling strong enough to go fight the werewolf and help Rhonda get back her nest.
You again? I thought I already taught you a lesson.
Well, I'm back, and I'm strong enough to fight you now. With my new armor and sword, I was able to hold my own against the werewolf. He knocked me back, but I didn't drop my sword, and I kept fighting. Then I pulled out my secret weapon, the vine lasso. I captured the werewolf in the lasso and started pulling him back to the jail. You're going to jail.
You ain't got what it takes to bring down Gary the Guster. He took out my whole gang, and I had to hide in those caves when he came to town. You go up against him, and you're toast.
On days 23 to 26, I threw the werewolf into one of the empty jail cells. Well, Rhonda, you can go back to the caves now. Your nest is safe, and your eggs are waiting for you.
Thank you so much, Zozo. I'll never forget what you did for me, and I'll be sure to come back and visit once my eggs have hatched.
I can't wait.
By the way, you should build a guard tower. It will help keep you safe here.
Rhonda was right. It would be a good idea to have a guard tower so we could keep lookout. I started constructing one right away. When the guard tower was done, I realized I needed some ranged weapons. So I crafted some javelins too. I can really defend this place now. On days 27 to 31, I decided to travel to a snowy area to see if I could find some more snow golems like me. If I could, maybe they could help protect the village and take down Gary. I was enjoying the cold and looking around for some other snow golems when I saw some snow beasts. They looked lost, so I sent them back to my base, and they went off to find it. Next, I decided to gather some ice to take back to my base. If I had it there, I wouldn't feel so homesick as the only snow golem in the desert. Even if I didn't find any snow golems, it would make me feel much better. When I got back to the village, Mayor Earth Golem came up to me.
Sheriff Zozo, we need your help. Gary's gang came through town and kidnapped some of our villagers.
Oh no, of course I'll help.
And I'll come with you. What kind of mayor would I be if I didn't look out for my own people?
On days 32 to 35, the mayor and I went into the forest to find the kidnapped villagers and save them from Gary's gang. We spotted the horde of zombies and a bunch of villagers in cages. The zombies were laughing at them. Don't worry, everyone. You're safe now. We're coming to save you. I rushed at them with my sword drawn. The mayor followed me and tried to help fight too. One of the zombies knocked him down. Get away from him! I tried to stop them from hurting him, but the zombies destroyed the mayor. No! I swore I'd have revenge. In honor of the fallen mayor, I defeated the rest of the zombies and freed the villagers. But now the town is without a mayor. We need someone to lead the villagers. On days 36 to 39, I set off in search of a new mayor for the village. We need someone tough to help protect the villagers from Gary. I know, I'll go into the mountains. Only tough people can survive up there. So I went to the mountains and looked around. Is there anyone here who can be a mayor?
Are you looking for help?
I looked and saw Zeus, the king of Olympus, standing on top of a mountain. Yes, I am.
Well, I need help with something. If you can help me, I can be the mayor in return.
What is it?
A group of gremlins stole my treasured guitar. Jamming on that guitar was the only way to pass the time up here on this boring old mountain. Please, get it back for me.
It was a small price to pay to find a new, powerful mayor. I found the gremlins nearby, smashing the guitar into some rocks. Hey, that's not what rock music means. I fought off the gremlins and got the guitar back. Here you go, Zeus. Or should I say, Mayor Zeus.
Thank you. I'd be happy to be the mayor if the villagers are all as kind as you.
They are. We're trying to defeat Gary the Guster.
Ah, Gary. He's asking for diamonds, I bet. Well, I can tell you where a very good diamond mine is, if you want.
Yes, please. So Zeus gave me directions to the diamond mine. Things were really starting to come together. One way or another, I'd keep the village safe. On days 40 to 43, I returned home to the village and dropped off Mayor Zeus at his new house. Back at the sheriff's station, I decided to spiff up the place. I added torches and bookshelves for extra light and to give me and Deputy Byron something to read on our downtime. Once I was done, I checked in with Byron to see what he thought.
Say, this looks great, Sheriff. But with so much new danger, we need more deputies. Let's make a deputies wanted sign.
Great idea! I added a sign outside the station. New deputies wanted. And pretty soon, villagers started showing up to apply for the job. 6 new deputies joined. I built a barracks onto the base with bunk beds, so they would all have a place to sleep. Gary the Guster won't know what hit him when we take him on. One of the snow beasts came to find me while I was working.
We heard a rumor about an ice cave where another snow golem is living. You should check it out and see if he can help us.
Wow, thank you! Another snow golem. It almost sounded too good to be true. On days 44 to 49, I journeyed to the ice cave to search for the other snow golem. When I got there, I couldn't see anyone at first, but then I saw a shadow in the cave. Hello? I walked toward the opening of the cave, but Gary the Guster appeared.
Yeehaw! I knew you'd fall for my trap. I hear you've been rustling up a team to try and beat me. Well, I can't have that.
You're such a bully, making people get diamonds for you. Why do you even need so many anyway?
You sure do ask a lot of questions, Sheriff. I'll have you know it's my dream to live in a mansion made out of nothing but diamonds. I don't care how many towns I have to destroy to get them, neither.
That's terrible.
Never said I was nice. Now I gotta mosey on back to my diamonds, but I'm not letting you go that easy. Alpha Coyote, get him.
Gary whooshed away, and in his place, there was an alpha coyote. He was pretty big and strong too, but I knew I could take him. I drew my sword and got ready for a fight. On days 50 to 53, I fought hard against the Alpha Coyote.
You might as well give up now. I'm so much bigger than you.
You may be big, but I'm brave and strong, and I have the support of my friends to keep me from giving up. With a decisive strike from my sword, I defeated the Alpha Coyote. I did it! I won! Well, I won this battle. There's more to come. Hey, wait, what's this? I looked on the ground where the Alpha Coyote fell at the end of our fight. There was a journal. Hey, this says property of Gary the Guster inside. It must belong to him.
Dear Diary, I built the best dang hideout this Wild West has ever seen. It's so sparkly, made up of all those diamonds I took from the villagers. And no one will find me here, between the two tallest mountains in the region. They'll never get rid of Gary the Guster and his gang of goons.
Hey, I know where those mountains are. When the time comes, I'll be able to find Gary's base after all. On days 54 to 57, I ventured deeper into the ice caverns. I wasn't going to give up my search for another snow golem now. I had to keep looking and see if there was really someone here, or if it was all just one of Gary's traps. In the distance, I could see the light of a fire. There was someone here. As I got closer, I could see that some of the zombies from the Guster gang of goons were gathered around the fire, and they had a snow golem with them. Oh no, I have to help him escape. I stayed back and out of sight, and threw one of my javelins at the zombies. I had the element of surprise, and they scattered when it hit. Take that, you undead outlaws!
Hey, where did you come from? This is our hideout and you're trespassing.
No, you're the ones who are trespassing. Instead of getting into an argument with them, I decided to get right to the fighting instead. I rushed in with my sword and fought them with everything I had.
Quick, let's get out of here.
The zombies ran out of the caverns, leaving me with the snow golem. I'll get you out of here.
Not so fast.
I turned around, and there was an axe sticks.
You're not taking this prisoner without a fight, unless you've got those 100 diamonds for Gary.
You'll never get those diamonds from me. I took axe sticks down and let the snow golem free.
Hey, look!
Oh, it's a power potion. I drank it and grew bigger, and I gained 2 more hearts. Wow, that's amazing!
Thank you so much for letting me go. Gary has been taking out all of the golems, so there will be no one left to protect the villagers. I was so scared that I was the only one left.
Well, now you know you're not alone. Come back to my base with me. We've got a whole bunch of people to help. Gary won't get away with it this time. On days 58 to 62, I worked on improving things at the base. The sheriff's station was pretty great, but it could still get even better. The villagers had all the food we could need, but we needed to make way more tools and weapons. I expanded the crafting area and the armory, so we'd have lots of space for more equipment. Then I headed off to the area Zeus told me about, where I could find lots of diamonds. I went down into the mine there, and sure enough, there they were! I used my iron pickaxe to mine the diamonds, and took them back to the base. I used all those diamonds to make diamond armor, a pickaxe, and a sword. Next, I thought about how I might need to gather extra food while traveling to new places. A fishing rod could help me catch fish on the go, so I crafted a fishing rod to help me, in case I ever needed it. On days 63 to 66, Mayor Zeus came to visit me at the sheriff's station. What can I do for you, Mayor?
Did you get a chance to check out the diamond cave I told you about?
I did, thank you. There were lots of diamonds there. I used them to upgrade my gear though.
That's okay. I thought you might need to do that. I wanted to tell you that I heard about another cave with lots of diamonds to mine.
Really? Thank you. That's great news.
Happy to help. I'll keep an ear out for more diamond news too.
I really missed my old friend Mayor Earth Golem, but Zeus was doing his legacy proud and seemed to really care about the village. I set off to the new cave to mine for more diamonds. Inside, I saw a group of little Kados. I could hear them whispering to each other.
I'm telling you, the boss is out there somewhere.
Boss, are they talking about Gary the Guster?
He's a werewolf. He's tough.
Not as tough as Gary. There's no way he survived that attack. We're doomed. We'll be next.
Wait, these must be members of the werewolf's old gang. I wonder if they'll try to fight me.
Hey, are you the sheriff?
Why do you want to know?
We hear you're trying to fight Gary the Guster, and we want to help.
Really? That would be great.
If you can help us rescue more of our old gang, we promise to all help you out. They're in an underground base deep in these caves.
You got it. Go back to my base at the sheriff's station, and I'll come meet you when I've rescued your buddies. Also, your old leader's there in jail. Sorry about that. On days 67 to 70, I traveled deeper into the caves in search of the underground base. If I could find more of the werewolf's gang, that would be even more deputies to fight with me. Look at me, turning outlaws into good guys. Mayor Earth Golem would be so proud of what a great sheriff I'm becoming. Before I could celebrate my progress anymore though, I spotted a Nightwalker mage holding another group of little Kados prisoner. Those must be the rest of the gang they were talking about. How can I get them out of here? He looks pretty dangerous. I don't know if I can fight him and make it out. I started looking around for a way to sneak by the Nightwalker mage, but I couldn't find anything. I guess I'll have to be brave and try to fight him, even though I'm scared. I thought about my friends and how they'd all faced so much danger with me so far. If they could do it, so could I. I attacked the Nightwalker mage and he flew into the air to dodge my attack. This looks like a job for my vine lasso. I tossed it at the Nightwalker mage and caught him. I pulled him back down to the ground, and while he was trapped, I attacked him with my sword. He broke free, but not before I got a good hit in. The Nightwalker mage teleported behind me, but I spun around and got him again. It was a pretty intense battle, but eventually I was able to win with the help of my vine lasso and my shiny new diamond sword.
Thank you, stranger.
I'm no stranger, I'm the sheriff.
Oh no, are we under arrest?
No, I'm here to save you. Go back to my base at the sheriff's station. Your friends will be there, and you'll see that everything is going to be okay. On days 71 to 74, I traveled to a river to try out some fishing. I hadn't done it before, and I wanted to get good at it in case I needed to catch a fish in a hurry. As I was walking along the river, I saw a strange message on the ground. If you're enjoying this adventure, find more Zozo videos by searching for ZO, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That's pretty weird. Anyway, back to fishing. I caught a few fish, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. But then, Gary the Guster showed up.
Sheriff fishing on the job, eh? Should be out there mining for my diamonds if you want that village of yours to survive.
Why can't you just leave us alone?
I will, once you give me what I want.
That's not fair.
Life ain't fair.
We rushed at each other, and I pulled out my sword and my vine lasso.
You think you can lasso me like cattle? I'm no cowboy.
I tried my best, but it wasn't enough to defeat him. I didn't want to run, but I needed to stay alive to get stronger and to help my friends. So I turned and I ran all the way back to my base. Next time, I'll be ready. On days 75 to 78, I got to work on my base again. Now that I know how strong Gary is, after trying to fight him again, I know we need to make the base even better. Byron had a great idea for how to improve it.
What if we build an underground bunker? Somewhere we can hide out if we need to, if he comes to attack us before we're ready.
Perfect! I got to work building the bunker, and before long, we had a great big underground hideout to go to if Gary attacked before I was strong enough to beat him. After I was done, some of the little Katos from the werewolf's gang came up to me with a book.
It's the magic book to help you get bigger and stronger.
Wow, thank you! I tried some of the magic from the book, and sure enough, I grew bigger and gained more hearts. What an amazing gift! They really are good guys after all. On days 79 to 84, I decided to test my new strength on some mobs. I went out into the desert with my sword and my lasso and found some skeletons to fight. Taste the lasso, boneheads! I rounded them up and took them all out. After I defeated the last of the skeletons, a desert lord came up to me. Is he going to try and fight me too? But to my surprise, he gave me a gift instead.
Thank you for getting rid of the skeletons. They've been making so much trouble here. As the lord of this desert, I present you with this sharpness enchantment, which will increase the power of your sword.
Awesome! So now I'm stronger, and my sword is stronger too. This is great! On days 85 to 89, I came back to the base, only to find it under attack by an army of zombies. Of course, this has got to be the work of Gary the Guster. There were so many of them, it would be dangerous to get close. Thankfully, I had some of the javelins I made earlier. You're about to find out why you don't mess with the sheriff, zombies. I threw javelin after javelin until I had the zombie gang on the run. With the help of the rest of my deputies, we were able to run the undead outlaws out of town. But it wasn't just my base they were interfering with. The zombies were causing trouble all over town while I was gone. One of the villagers ran over to me and told me that while the zombies were ransacking the town, they took one of his chickens. Don't worry, villager, I'll have that chicken back to you safe and sound. I chased the remaining zombies out into the woods, and I saw the chicken running along with them. That must be the villager's chicken. But the zombies had such a head start now. I didn't know if I could catch up to them in time. Wait, the javelins can come in handy here too. With a few well-placed throws, those zombies were done for, and the chicken was free. Come on, little chicken, let's get you back to your owner. I brought the chicken back to his owner, who was so happy to see him. The villager thanked me for getting his chicken back, and felt terrible that he didn't have anything to give me as a reward. Don't worry about it. The only reward I need is knowing I did a job well done. On days 90 to 94, I followed the trail of zombie footprints and destruction until I finally found a cave with a sign out front. Get out of these parts or face the wrath of the Guster gang. This has gotta be it, their secret hideout. I better check it out. I snuck into the cave and saw that it was empty, except for one strange figure standing there, like he was waiting for me. Who are you?
I'm the Soul Leader, and I'm here to make sure you don't mess with the boss's plans no more.
Why would you work for him? What he's doing is wrong. He's hurting so many people, all because he's greedy.
Nothing wrong with a little greed. It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sheriff. We're all just trying to get fed.
But isn't it better to be nice, to help others, and know that they'll help you in return?
What kind of sucker helps people? That ain't this kind of town.
But it could be.
Enough chatter. Turn and draw your weapon, Sheriff.
I drew my sword and my vine lasso, ready for a fight. After all of my recent experience, I was feeling pretty good about it. But when the Soul Eater rushed at me, I knew I was wrong. This wasn't an ordinary fight. He was incredibly fast and strong. Definitely the toughest fighter of the Guster gang I had met so far. I didn't have much time. I had to think fast. I ran backwards away from him and pulled out a javelin. Let's finish this! On days 95 and 97, I continued battling the Soul Eater in the Guster gang's secret cave hideout. It was pretty close, but putting some space between us and throwing a javelin helped me to do some crucial extra damage and get the advantage I needed. While the Soul Eater was recovering, I tied him up in my lasso and rushed him with my sword.
Oh, this can't happen. You're weak.
I'm strong now. With the Soul Eater beaten and not going anywhere, I decided to look around the hideout for anything I could use. Hey, a battle axe! Awesome! You're coming with me. I turned back to the Soul Eater. And so are you. Let's get you back to the jail and you can start talking. I took the Soul Eater back to the sheriff's station and put him in the other cell there. Tell me what you know about Gary the Guster.
Fine. I can draw you a map to the diamond castle he's building. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that would be great.
Then you'll let me go?
Only if you promise to try being a good guy.
If it gets me out of here, then sure. Here, Sheriff. No tricks. It's real.
Now I knew exactly where to go to get Gary once and for all. On day 98, after I got the map from the Soul Eater, I decided to walk around my base and check in on everything. All my new deputies were doing great, settling into their duties. As I was seeing what the deputies were doing, I heard someone come to the door. It was Rhonda, and she had a bunch of baby roadrunners with her.
Children, this here is Sheriff Zozo. He helped me get back to you when you were still eggs in the nest. I owe him a lot of thanks.
Wow, Rhonda, I'm so glad you and your babies are doing well.
You're a hero, Sheriff Zozo. Never forget that.
Next, Byron came to talk to me.
Sheriff, it's been an honor to be your deputy. Thank you for giving this old bison a chance to help save my village. Take this potion of strength as a token of my appreciation.
Thank you so much, Deputy Byron. Mayor Zeus stopped by to see me next.
I never thought I'd be a mayor, but you believed in me. I believe in you too, Zozo. Don't forget, fellows like Gary are driven by greed and nothing else. Friendship and goodness are so much stronger, and they'll win in the end, every time. Remember that.
It seemed like everyone believed in me, and with amazing friends like these in my corner, Gary wouldn't stand a chance. On day 99, I followed the map I got from the Soul Eater. It was now or never, with only one more day left before Gary would come to collect his ransom. There was no way I was going to let him destroy the village. As I was walking there, a pigeon flew by overhead.
You can do it, Zozo!
Thank you, pigeon. I reached a massive castle made of diamonds, surrounded by zombies and skeletons. He has this many diamonds already, and he wants even more? This guy's the worst. There were so many enemies outside, I wasn't sure if I could take them all on by myself. But then, my trusty Deputy Byron the Bison showed up.
Didn't think I'd let you do this without your first deputy, your right-hand man, did ya?
Day 100, Byron and I fought our way through the zombies and skeletons and headed into the Diamond Castle. There were so many of them, it was a miracle we got through. How can this guy afford to pay all these goons and build a Diamond Castle?
We've got to keep fighting, Zozo. We're almost there.
You're right, Byron. We can do this. Inside, Gary the Guster was sitting on top of a diamond throne.
Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in.
We're here to end this, Gary. Your reign of terror is over.
Well, ain't that a hoot? Listen, little sheriff, you can't fight the wind. I'm a force of nature, and I ain't going nowhere.
Too bad. We're here to shut you down. I pulled out my trusty vine lasso and got ready to wrangle Gary. But before I could, he threw sand in my eyes and I dropped it. I couldn't see what I was doing.
I'll be your eyes, Zozo. Dodge to the left. He's gonna attack.
I listened to Byron and dodged. It helped me avoid Gary's hit.
Hey, that's cheating.
Blinding people before a fight is cheating, Gary. And Gary didn't let up. I could feel the force of his mighty winds trying to blow me away. But Byron was still there to help.
Rush at him with your sword. Straight forward.
You can't do this dance forever, cowboy.
I don't have to.
What in tarnation?
I rushed at Gary with my sword, and Byron ran at him too. Together, we dealt one huge blow, and Gary dissolved. He was gone. Is it really over?
It's really over. Let's say you and I get back to the town and rustle up some celebratory grub.
That sounds good to me.
You make a darn good sheriff, Zozo.
And thanks to us, Gary the Guster and the Guster Gang would never hassle another town again.